Have you ever felt like you're constantly busy, but not really getting anywhere important? Like your days are filled, but your life feels empty? Well, I have a story for you today that might just change everything. It starts one morning in a classroom. A professor walks in, a twinkle in his eye, carrying a huge empty glass jar. His students knew this meant a lesson was coming, but they had no idea it would be one they'd remember for the rest of their lives. The professor placed the jar on his desk and, without a word, pulled out several large rocks, each about the size of a fist. He carefully placed them into the jar one by one until he couldn't possibly fit another one in. He then turned to his students and asked, "Is this jar full?" Looking at the jar packed with rocks, the students all nodded. "Yes," they replied in unison. "It's full." A slight smile played on the professor's lips. He reached under his desk again and pulled out a bag of small pebbles. He poured the pebbles into the jar, giving it a little shake. The tiny stones trickled down, filling all the gaps between the big rocks. "And now?" he asked. "Is it full now?" The students were a bit more hesitant this time. A few caught on, but most still agreed. "Yes, sir. Now it's definitely full." But the professor wasn't finished. He reached down again, and this time, he brought out a bag of fine sand. He slowly poured the sand into the jar. It flowed like liquid, filling every remaining nook and cranny around the rocks and pebbles. He looked at his class. "Is it full now?" he asked again. By this point, the students were laughing. "Probably," one of them called out. Just when they thought it was over, the professor picked up a mug of water from his desk and poured it into the jar. The water seeped through the sand, soaking everything, until the jar was filled right to the very brim. With a knowing smile, the professor looked up. "Now," he said softly, "it is truly full." He let that sink in for a moment. The room was silent. "This jar," he began, "represents your life." Everyone leaned in, hanging on his every word. "The big rocks," he explained, "are the most important things in your life. Your family, your health, your partner, your deepest passions, and your life's purpose. These are the things that, if everything else was lost, and only they remained, your life would still be meaningful and complete." He pointed at the jar. "The pebbles are the other things that matter, but are less critical. Your job, your house, your car, your education. They add to your life, but they aren't the foundation of it." His eyes scanned the room. "And the sand. The sand is everything else. The small stuff. The trivial things. It's the endless scrolling on social media. The pointless arguments. The gossip. The little worries that eat away at your time. All the distractions that don't truly add value to your life." He tapped the side of the glass. "Now here is the crucial lesson. If you had filled this jar with the sand first, there would have been no room for the pebbles, and certainly no room for the big rocks. The same is true for your life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small, insignificant things, you will never have room for the things that are truly important." The weight of his words settled over the classroom. You could see the students reflecting, thinking about their own lives. How much time were they spending on the sand instead of their rocks? The professor's voice softened. "Your rocks are your foundation. Your family, your health, your dreams, they give your life structure and meaning. Don't let the pebbles and the sand take over and push them out. At the end of your journey, it's the weight of those rocks, your love, your purpose, your relationships, that will define the richness and value of your life." He smiled warmly. "So, my advice to you is this. Always place your big rocks in first. The pebbles and the sand will find their own way to fit in around them." Just then, a curious student raised her hand. "Professor," she asked, "what about the water? What does that represent?" The professor chuckled, his eyes lighting up. "Ah, the water. I'm glad you asked. That's the best part. The water represents the small moments of joy and connection. A shared cup of coffee with a friend, a walk in the rain, a moment of deep laughter with someone you love. It shows that no matter how full and busy your life may seem, there is always room for a little happiness and joy. These moments might not change your grand path, but they make the journey worthwhile. He looked at the jar one last time. Life isn't about being busy. It's about being meaningful. It's not about how much you can cram into your days, but how much meaning you bring into them. Find the balance between your rocks, your pebbles, your sand, and don't forget to leave space for the water. That is the secret to a truly fulfilled life. As the class ended, the students left not just with notes, but with a powerful new perspective on how to live. So, let me ask you today, what are the rocks in your life? Are you giving them the time and space they deserve? Remember, your time is your jar. Fill it wisely. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that can help us all live a more meaningful life. Until next time, stay mindful, stay thankful, and always remember to place your rocks first.